Hey y'all, today I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey as I go ahead and start to learn Kubernetes. If you don't know what Kubernetes is, essentially it allows you to orchestrate and manage deployments of containers and containerized applications with a microservice architecture. And so that's what I'm going to try to do today. Now, I have a video about me using Docker, so I'm pretty familiar with Docker, but I have no familiarity with Kubernetes at all. So this is going to be brand new, and I'm just going to take you all along on the ride as I try to learn Kubernetes. So I don't know what kind of video this is going to really be. It's just going to be me kind of like learning Kubernetes. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So let's do that. So I think where I'm going to start is Free Code Camp has a learn Kubernetes in 3 hours orchestrating things. So I think what I'm gonna do is just like kind of glaze through this because I don't want to actually go through like their full like demo. But I do think it will be a little bit helpful to go through it and answer some questions as I go. So I think I'm gonna do that. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna get started. Man, I'm having so many issues with with like Docker and getting Minikube set up. So yeah, so I tried to read while like I'm waiting for that, but I mean, we have so yeah, this is really cool. I have my Go. I finally have my Go app up and running, and I have it replicated 3 times, and then I have a Redis master as well. So that's really cool. Now I'm just trying to figure out this the service part. All right, y'all. So I finally have gotten everything resolved. So I had a lot of issues that was going on when I was going through the tutorial, and I mean, you probably saw that in some of the video. I was going through the tutorial, I had a lot of issues, and it turns out that all the issues I was having were related to how I had installed Docker. So I kind of installed Docker improperly, and because I installed Docker improperly, I couldn't run Minikube like successfully. So I spent hours just running down rabbit holes of trying to get Minikube up and working, so that way I could actually start on working on the deployments. But I was able to get Minikube working, so Minikube is now up and running, all that good stuff, and I was able to actually run through and do the rest of that kind of like example and kind of build off of that. And so now I have all of my stuff up and running. So like if I clear my screen, I'm going to show you all a few different things. So one, so I have these various pods. So now I have my Go Redis app, which is the actual server itself, and then my Redis master. So this is my instance of Redis that the actual server is using. So this is where it's caching all of that data, all that information. And now if I do git service, I have 2 services. So the service I created is Redis master. So that is what allows me to actually interface with my Redis cluster. And then so like the Redis pod that's been created. And then we have this one right here, which is StonkWatch, which is the actual server itself. But this is the load balancer. So this is what allows, I have 3 replicas of the server running So this load balancer, what a load balancer does in Kubernetes is it essentially, when the request comes in, you hit one endpoint and it routes your request to one of the pods in the cluster. So that's what I have going on there. And if I get my deployment, so these are my actual deployments. So I have the Redis app deployed and I have the Redis master deployed as well. It's really cool to finally have it up and running. And if I was able to scroll back, you would see the output. I was logging on the output that's coming from the pod, so I'll like attach that really quickly. So we can see like this is what my server is doing. So this is my server running the way it's supposed to and spitting out the information like it's supposed to. And we scroll up, we can kind of see some other stuff. But if we come down here now, I can actually make requests to it. So I have a hello route that's just going to spit hello back to me. So that's going to do let me clear this because it'll make more sense. So now this is me testing, and I know like it's actually spitting hello world back, and we can see that like here. We can see the requests, what time they come in, all that good stuff, because I did set up my logging properly. And if we hit for news, so this is the API for StonkWatch. So if you all are not familiar with StonkWatch, go back and watch that video. But essentially, I have a way I made an API for the app to allow users to get the most recent news related to the stocks that they're following. And so here I'm hitting that endpoint and I'm just searching for the symbol Neo. So if any of the news articles have Neo in them or are just general news articles, they'll be returned. And so if we hit enter now, it successfully we can see right here, it did hit the news route in my API. And we can see like all this information here. And like there's a lot of information, right? You know, you get this whole news array back, but you get for each article, you get an ID, a title, and the provider and a link if it's available. So that way users in the app can see that. And like I said, if you want to see what this looks like in the app, be sure to take a look at that previous video I released. So Kubernetes is really cool. It's really interesting because it does solve a lot of the problems. I'm learning into, what it solves a lot of the problems in like deployments and updates and stuff. And I mean, it handles like a lot of that for you. And it's really cool, like how powerful it is. I'm still learning. I don't know everything about Kubernetes by any means, but I was able to get my service I was able to get my service built up into where I do now have Kubernetes deployments. So it's very easy for me to deploy. So I've already actually gone ahead and made my deployment onto a Linode cluster. And it went really easy because that's kind of the benefit of Kubernetes is once I was able to deploy to like a Minikube instance, deploying to a Linode instance was exactly the same. Like you just set up kubectl to use that cluster, to use those nodes, and then you just kind of apply your changes. And it's really cool to like see, and it's really cool that all that is working. So I'm really happy with all that. But that's gonna be it for this video. This was literally just me kind of this is like an improv devlog video because it's just me talking about me learning Kubernetes. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you like the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. Be sure to follow my Instagram and my Twitter down in the links down below for more updates and stuff and things, and hit the bell so that way you can get notified and you don't miss a single video. I release a video every Saturday. Be sure to check them out. All right, see you guys.